And those people, because most of these people, like 80% are those who are certified PMPs, especially because they are more fearful. Those who have done PMP, they are less, they are still focused on that. But those who have done PMP, like Junaid and Naveed Qureshi, Sudha, they are certified PMP. So they have this question: how the PMP will be evolved, how the PMP will be changed, because you have seen all, like when the PMP was totally construction based, then with the internet, then now, then Agile, now AI, how the PMP will evolve, how the PMP will be valid as we move forward in that.
Well, you have to remember that we revise the PMBOK every 4 years. So whatever we add new to the PMBOK has to find its way into the exam. So that by definition says you better learn it. The problem we might have this time in the July revision on the test is that there hasn't been enough time for everybody to get wised up to speed on the AI. So someone's taking the test in July through December will be somewhat of a disadvantage because they won't have covered all that AI stuff at that point. But I think you have to recall that the exam has gotten, people will argue with me about this, so the exam has gotten more difficult, not easier, more difficult. Because the more it moves away from choice, four choices, pick one to winner, you can begin to memorize and be in position to handle that. But now we're going to these that make us think. Here's the scenario. What would you do? And out of the 4 questions, 3 of them may be right, but there's one that's more right. And so they're starting to really cause people to say, wow, that's really a tough exam, because now the time goes by fast. I've heard people say they had 20 questions unanswered. They ran out of time. Well, that's 20 misses right off the top. So you gotta kind of balance your time. Don't get so frustrated that you spend 10 minutes on one question because you know they're close to the right. But I think that's what you're going to see happen. What I've proposed, and I think others have as well, is I think that you can give an exam of 25 questions and get just as good a quality of PMPs as you do with 200 questions. And by that I mean if you pick the right questions, you don't need 200 of them because you'll know within the first 18 or 20 questions, this person's got it. They know. And that's what they should be doing when they interview people. They interview project managers with random lists of questions they want to ask. And I've told people, if you bring me in and let me interview your prospective candidates, I said I can get that done in 20 questions, and you'll have somebody that's going to stay around, not that's going to fail the first time you give a project. And so I think the same thing's going to happen on the test. Although, the more we add shiny things, the more volume that test's going to take on. But I think it's still... Well, let me give you a relationship. I try to sign notes of congratulations to people. You know that.
Yeah.
And this month, I've signed over 100. This month. Now, and it's been that way the last few months. It's just, I don't know what. In fact, I just sent Pierre a note saying, what are you doing on the market? There's something going on here because they're coming in by the gross. And I think people are recognizing, well, one is they don't want to take the July test. That nobody wants to take that new test. But 2 is they begin to see, hey, this is the way of the profession. And if I'm not going to have the PMP, then I'll be a lesser qualifications than people that are. So when you see all these people coming through, some of them wanted to be PMP. Some of them just want to keep up with their neighbors to say they have it. Because what's going to happen is just